Okay, so today focus is on jhana. Okay, so we have done what all needs to be done. So to enter into jhana, we need to know that we need to get into something called as positioning sati. That means completing sati through sila. Okay, that is called as silavanta. So there are two suttas, one in Anguttara Nikaya, which is AN 5.87, and there is another one in Majjhima Nikaya, which is 22.122. This will be our practice thing. Okay. Now, if I take up this Silavanta Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, okay, 5 things we need to develop. This is why it is called bhavana. So, jhana, to enter into jhana, first you need to develop, you need to create factors. Ultimately, there are 5 jhanic factors, which is vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata. So, this is the 5 jhanic factors. Vitak means to debate. What should be done, what should not be done. Vichara is to think the consequence of doing something and not doing something. Piti is a joy when you do it in a right way. It cuts dukkha. Sukha again cuts dukkha. So sukha is a state where it's like having water in a desert. And ekagata is equanimity. Situation being the same, you are equanimous to the situation. It's not about sitting on a cushion. Okay. So now we take one by one. So the first one, in Silavanta. First you should become Silavanta, completed the Sila. So he says that Silava hoti. So whatever you have taken as 5 precept, 8 precept, or as a bhikkhu 237 precept, patimokha, you will not dare to break either one of them. That's complete Sila. So you are a Sotapanna. The moment you are not breaking any Sila and you have Bhaya Dasavi, that means you see the danger in breaking that Sila, you become Bhaya Dasavi. So if I were to read the Pāli text for the benefit, Sila Vahoti Patis Mokha Samvara Samyukto Viharati Achara Gochara Sampanno Anumattesu Vajjesu Bhayadasavi Samadaya Sikkati Sikkapadesu. That means, what is Sila? Sila Vahoti. Patimokka Samvara Samvutto. Samvara, restraint. Samvutto, one who follows whatever is there in Patimokka, whatever has been established as discipline. He's completely disciplined. That's the meaning of it. So if I say Panati Pata, I remember not to kill, not to harm. Simple. If I say Adinna Dana, no matter whatever is a compulsion, whatever is situation, whatever is a condition, I will not steal. If I've taken Abrahmacharya instead of Kamesha Michachara, whatever is situation, whatever is a condition, I'm not going to have sexual intercourse. Or for that matter, I don't even look at a woman in the sense of sensual. Not that I don't have to look at a woman, but not sensual. So the chitta doesn't come with sensual experience. Whether it is clothed or unclothed, whether partially clothed, fully clothed, doesn't matter. Same thing with a man. So if a woman is practicing brahmacharya and whether the man is clothed or not clothed, it doesn't matter. Or partially clothed, doesn't matter. So this is what I've taken as the 3 from Kaya. If I've taken eight ones, which is Musavada, Pisunavacha, Parusavacha, Sampapalapa, then anything on speech I'm restraining. And the last one is Sura Mere Majjapamada Thana. So I will not have intoxicants of any kind. So this completes my 8 Sila or 5 Sila, the way I have taken it. Or if it is 237 and whatever that is for a bhikkhu, follow that. This aids to jhana. Okay. Otherwise, sense restraint will not happen. If the sense restraint doesn't happen, there's no jhana. Because the vitakka vichara will be on external objects and then nothing that can be done. This is the first one. Then he says Bahusuto, which we already covered as part of MN 53, the 15 Charana Dhammas. We have done 11 now, and we are achieving the other 4. So, for that reason only, I'm saying that Bahusuto, you should know the Dhamma, the teaching in its essence. That means not distorted, not partial, not starting from somewhere. It should start in a sequence. When it is Sila Samadhi Panya, the teacher or the teacher apprentice or a Kalyanamitta should know what's the starting point. He can't just talk something, even though it is there in some sutta or somewhere, and create his own style. So then what are we trying to say? Is that it should be verifiable, so it should have proper steps. So when we say Sila, it is the Charana Dhammas. It should follow the exact pattern. If that is how it is, then he says, Bahusuto hoti sutadharo Sutta Sannichayo Yete Dhamma Adi Kalyana Majje Kalyana Parivasana Kalyana Satham Sabhyanjanam Kevala Paripunnam Parisuddham Brahmacharyam Abhivadanti Tatha Rupasa Dhamma Bahusutta Honti Dhata Vachasa Parichita Manasanupikita Ditthya Suppatividdha. That means if somebody is following in a proper order, complete in every aspect of it, then he is not going to break. It means he has sutta, heard, dharana, retention, vachasa, parichaya, verbal familiarity, manasa, anupek, reflective contemplation, which brings in yoniso manasikara, dhittiya, suppati viddha, penetration by right view. That will make it sadhamma savana. Yoniso manasikara dhammano dhamma patipatti. That means sadhamma savana. The dhamma is properly heard. Okay. One second. Okay. So now let me ask Bobby what happened to him. Okay, so coming back to this, is that it should have the following: sutta, properly heard; dharana, able to retain; vachasa parichaya, verbal familiarity, whether it's Pali or not, it doesn't matter, but it should be familiar; manasa anupekha, should be properly contemplative, and with yoniso manasikara; dittiya supatividdha, penetration by right view. So what are we doing now is that we are developing yoniso manasikara, sadhamma savana, and dhammano dhamma patipatti. Okay, that is what is called as bahusutta, properly heard. Now the third one, where he says a beautiful uh, way. So he says that kalyana vacho, hoti kalyana vakarano puriya vachaya samannagato visattaya anila galaya athassa vinyapanaya. That means the person whom you are in touch with. He speaks good, kalyana vacho hoti, produces refined speech, that is kalyana vakarano. Vyakarana means grammar, the way he uses the words in grammar. And puriya vachaya samannagato, endowed with noble articulation. He can articulate well, he can provide better examples. Okay. Clear. Visattaya, ane lagaya is not confused. Lagaya means to confuse. So if you add an to it, it is non-confusing. And athassa vinyapanaya. Vinya means wisdom, like panya. So one he can explain, and one he can provide the proper meaning to whatever is being said. Vinyapanaya. That means he can convey proper meaning to it. Okay. This is the third one. Then the next one, which is what we are supposed to do. Chaturnam Jhānam Abhichetikanam Dittha Dhamma Sukha Viharam Nikambalabi Hoti Akichalabi Akarisalabi Hoti. That means Nikambalabi means can enter into jhana at will. Akichalabi means without any difficulty. Akasiralabhi means without any strain. Abhichetasikam, higher state of mind. Dittha Dhamma Sukha Viharam. That means he can see this in this life itself. That means if you are entering into jhana, it should be effortless. If you are putting effort, there is something wrong. And if it is not staying, then there is something wrong. And if you or if somebody has this wrong understanding, you should not be in jhana itself, is wrong. There are many people who think that you shouldn't be in jhana, and some people call it anariya, to be in jhana. So basically, that's not true. Okay, so we have come to the stage where we are going through the sutta, particular section where jhana is an important integral part. Number one. Number two, if you look at MN6, which is what we are following, we did Sila, then we came to Samatha through Indriya Samvara, now we are entering into Jhana. Okay. So basically, if we don't enter Jhana, no Vipassana is possible. So if I just say that I'm doing Vipassana, it's not appropriate in that sense. Meaning it will work for a little bit and that's it. So Samatha leads to jhana, and jhana leads to vipassana. So now we are coming into the samatha, entering into jhana because the sila is purified, indriya samvara is established, and now the dhamma is completely understood, and the mind is free from hindrances. Okay, the 5 hindrances. This is what is a step. So Silavanta Sutta, what I am talking to you now in Anguttara Nikaya 5.87, is the one we need to exactly follow by the letter and spirit. Now we come to the last of that is Asavakhaya. With this approach of Vitakka Vichara Piti Sukha Ekagata, Asavakhaya Jnana is going to happen. And now we are Silavanta. Clear? So if you have a misunderstanding that shouldn't be in jhana, shouldn't have this, shouldn't have that, please correct it. It's not true. Okay. Now there's another thing which happens is that as Sotapanna, do you have to do jhana? You will not be able to do jhana, what is supposed to be done as breath watching, but through the 5 khandhas practice, you can still do the jhana. I will tell you how that works between the Chito Vimukti side and Panya Vimukti side. So just hang on for a little while and then I will let you know. Okay, it's possible. But there's a way out to it. And Asavakhaya is going to happen. So this is what being ethical. So if somebody says, I'm ethical, should ask him this question. Tell me the 5 factors for ethical. And that's it. Got the point. So first is Silavanto. Second one, Bahusuto. Third one, Kalyanamachi. That means he talks well. Fourth one, Chatundam Jhanam. Fifth one, Asavakhaya. Then you are Silavanta. This one step I had missed in Yavatmal. This completely I had missed it when I was in Australia. And in fact, I had spoken to Shaniel on 20 ways of seeing. There is 5 khandhas into 11 things that needs to be considered, and it was looking very overwhelming for the people who were coming in Brisbane. So I used this in Yavatmal. So it was good to, before we entered into jhana, to look at what should be done before entering jhana. So I took the other Silavanta Sutta in Yavatmal and we are going to just go there now. Okay. This applies for Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat. All the 4. Second clarification. A lay person, a recluse, both can become Arhat. Both can become Anagami. Both can become Sakadagami. Both can become Sotapanna. It's not restricted to recluse or monks to be a Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat. It's got nothing to do with a particular color of dress, a particular shape of a person, or anything like that. It's the purity of the mind, nothing to do with saying that only this person can get it and that person can get it. That is far from truth. It is not based on language, it's not based on customs, it's not based on traditions, it's not even based on whether you should be a bhikkhu or not a bhikkhu. And the meaning of bhikkhu includes both lay as well as recluse in the dispensation of Buddha. So if somebody has a wrong misunderstanding on what is a bhikkhu, they should really go and investigate Arya Savaka, Arya Puggala, and bhikkhu. So if somebody feels that lay follower can never become a bhikkhu, or a lay person is not at all a bhikkhu, and another thing is the lay person can never reach into an arhat state, it's far from truth. This will be clear now when we go to the next sutta, which is Silavanta Sutta, same one in Samyutta Nikaya 22 by 22.122. Okay, so we'll head there right away. So now I will share the screen so that it is clear that this is how you need to practice. So he says that a person comes into Buddha Dhamma after knowing that 5 things what we just now spoke. He has his sila, then he has the sutta, he has heard Dhamma in a proper way, in steps. Again, I repeat, if somebody talks the Dhamma from somewhere in between, somewhere from this side, that side, is not proper. It should be the other thing, what he says. Adi Kalyana, Majje Kalyana, Parivasana Kalyana. That means whoever is teaching you, whoever is talking about Dhamma, if he is a teacher or if he is a friend, he should be able to give you steps. He can't give a limited thing and say this is all what it is. That is not true. No subset can be created out of the whole thing. It should be whole thing. So somebody says that this is how it is, he should demonstrate by the sutta, he should demonstrate by how he has done it, he should demonstrate by how it could be done, so that the person himself or herself can practice it. Clear? So for our practice, we have taken MN53, MN6, MN120 for this purpose. And to add to that, we have taken this Silavanta Sutta, Samyutta Nikaya 22.122, because the same steps are there for Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat. Okay, so there's no change in steps. Absolutely no change in steps in the sutta. With that, let me tell you what next is going to happen. When you have this sila established and when you're coming into Buddha Dhamma as Buddha, the characteristics which we spoke about, the guna, now you're coming to saddha. Okay, for the saddha, you need to know that a human being or any being is 5 khandhas. And when there is an attachment or rather holding on to the 5 khandhas, it becomes upadana khandha. And upadana also means fueling. It fuels existence. So a Kalyana Mitta is going to introduce this 5 khandhas. And once that person can understand the difference between upadana khandha and 5 khandhas, he is ready for Jhāna. Clear? Again, I repeat. Once that spiritual friend introduces the difference between the 5 khandhas and 5 upadana khandha, then he is ready for Jhāna. So for the jhanas, when we are going to go through the Jhāna Sutta, which is also in Anguttara Nikaya 9.36. When we go there, we'll look into it. But for now, we are in this sutta. It's Silavanta. Now you have to let go of the Upadana Khandha and come to five khandas. So the difference between Upadana Khanda and the five khandas is one sutta called Khanda Sutta also, which talks about what's the difference between five khandas and five Upadana Khanda. Upadana Khanda means I am. This whole thing is Upadana, whereas I represents the six senses is just Khanda. Okay. And since you already have Indriya Samvara, you don't have to worry about Upadana Khanda. So now he's saying that there are these five Upadana Khandas. So he says, Silavatavuso Kottita Bhikkhuna Panchupadana Khanda Anicchato Dukkato Rogato Gandarto Sallato Agato Abadato Parato Palokato Shunyato Anatto Yoniso Manasi Katabha Katama Pancha. Se iti idam rupa upadana kanda, vedana upadana kanda, sanya upadana kanda, sankhara upadana kanda, vinyan upadana kanda. So for both of them, when I look at the aspect of the khandas and upadana kanda, they both merely mean just holding on to something which doesn't even exist. So when I say I am watching Avanti or Ariu or Madhuka, it's true to an extent that it is. That's what we looked at Sanya Sutta yesterday. It is. But in reality, it is this much. So what is that? Let's go one by one. This is the starting point of Jhāna, Jhaika. Okay, now we come into the what is Jhāna itself. Okay, now let's start to understand what is this business of Jhāna. Jhāna, he means to burn. In Aganya Sutta, Buddha explains Jhāna as Jhaika, one who burns. It's not equivalent to tapas. Okay, there's a difference between tapas and jhana. In tapas, you heat up. You heat up to remove defilement, let's say, whereas in jhana, you work out on the defilements. That means you burn the kilesa, that's called in Pāli called kilesa or klesha or dirts. How do you know that? So when you don't have the kamachanda or vivicheva kamehi, that means if your senses are guarded, vivicheva akusala dhammehi, that means if you don't have the five hindrances, you will know you don't have sensual association. Clear? When you don't have the sensual attachment, now you're ready to look it in 11 ways, the rupa. Like, what does that mean? It means that I have to close my eyes, open my eyes. That's not at all a question. I have to first see ajjatta, internal, as opposed to external. So when I see the internal, this body consists of what? First, it is anicca. Each day going, this body is decayed to begin with. How many times does it decay? Minimum 3 times. As breakfast, lunch, dinner. 3 times as a decay. How many times it gets soiled? Meaning it gets into cleaning. Once as bathing or twice as bathing, and then the remaining time is restroom visits. Clear. And hence it is anicca. If it was nicca, you wouldn't be able to do this. Once you're born, you'll stay in the same state, same shape. But we can see that you are not in the same state, nor in the same shape at all. So when I take rupa, I can find it is not in the same shape and the same state. Both are not true. If I'm sitting and I'm walking, that state is gone. If I'm standing, if I'm sitting, then I have to stand. If I stand, I have to walk. If I walk, again the tiredness, so you have to sit. If you sit, again you have to stand. So that means change of state. If there is a change of state and change of shape, the shape is smaller now because I'm sitting. If I stand, the shape is longer. And if I'm walking, the shape completely changes. So, in either way, it is what? It is anicca, impermanent. One side. Second, will this body stay the same as no feeling hunger? No. Will I feel hunger in the afternoon? There's no guarantee. You might feel hungry in the next half an hour. I just went to the washroom, had my urine. Is there a possibility that urine comes only tomorrow morning? No. Can I say that I'll go to again urination now? No. Can I say that it'll come after 2 hours? No. So it is uncertain. It is anishchit. So please remember in Dhamma, anicca represents two parts of it, not just one part of it as impermanent. It is uncertain also. Nobody can say for certain whether this is going to happen or this is not going to happen because it is based on condition. If the condition matches, it happens. If the condition doesn't match, it doesn't happen. So I going from this room to that room is based on condition. It's uncertain that I can get up. It's 100% uncertain, not 50% uncertain. It's uncertain. I may not get up. If I get a backache, can't get up. As long as backache is not there, I can get up. Clear? Every movement, like this hand movement, this movement, is conditional. And the condition is what is making it look as though it is certain. So if the condition changes, the certainty is gone. So by nature, it is uncertain. It's only the conditions. So as long as you supply conditions, so long it works. Even jhana works based upon condition. Now you're creating proper condition for jhana to work. So in the vitakka vichara, the first portion vitakka is you have cut off the sensual and hence you are in jhana. That means the condition of sensuality is gone, so you are coming into jhana. So now I note that if sensuality exists, jhana is not possible. The burning is not possible because the entire bandwidth is taken up by the sensual. What will I eat? What will I see? What will I smell? What will I hear? What will I touch? Like that. No. If I drop that, vivicheva kamehi, vivicheva akusala dhammehi, then that condition matches for jhana. Clear? So the first thing I need to do is when I want to burn, not closed eyes, not couch potato meditation, or not cushion meditation, is to observe what is there in this body. In this body, You have only dukkha. That's all. Nothing else is there. Why? Because it's conditioned. So it's anicca, dukkha. Then, then we could have said anatta. No. Now the third contemplation. Aniccato, dukkhato, rogato. It's a disease. The most common disease which cannot be cured by any medicine is hunger and thirst. You can't. And because of that, there are two other diseases which cannot be cured, which is urination and feces, bowel movement. Can't cut it. If you eat, you will have to go to washroom. If you drink, you have to go to washroom. So these two has a result. Hunger and thirst has a result. Is that you require washroom. Supposing I come to anybody's home, you have to give me your washroom and have to use the washroom no matter whether it's clean or unclean. Then you need to have detergents, so many other kind of solutions to clean that. And he feels disgusted to wash it. So if it was so good, it should have been the best place to reside. Clean. So if you really see this, it's roga, it's disease. It's a permanent disease. And the meaning of disease means dis-ease. You're not at ease. And hence it's a disease, rogato. Okay. Now that doesn't end there. If it was just a roga, it's fine. But it goes beyond a roga. It keeps on biting you. Stop eating for a while, and you will see the pain, terrible pain. And you don't go to the washroom. Try this out. Try to hold it as much as you can. Can't. Unless you want to injure your kidney or intestine or whatever it is, don't try it out. Okay. Or keep the number of ambulance handy so that once you try this, and then maybe you should call them and go. Otherwise, don't try this stunt. So it is sallato, which means like an arrow. If you don't eat, you'll have fun. And the body will start eating itself. It doesn't care. Okay. And before this happens, I forgot, this whole body is like a ganda, which means boil. It can burst at any time. What does that mean? You can get allergy. Okay. First and foremost, allergy, rashes. Anything can happen any moment. You might vomit. It might fill all your holes. The saliva can increase. It's a wound which can never be repaired. This whole body is like that. It can burst. So you have to keep on attending to it. As what? Good question. Nose leaking, you know what to do. Ear, tongue, and the private parts. And taking a bath. That's sufficient to see why it is a boil. You have to keep on dressing the boil. Then it pains. So to see like that. So gandato, sallato, agato. Agato means it causes tremendous distress if you don't do it. Just check it out. If it causes agato, it's affliction, abhadato. Gives you so much of affliction that you see this fan. You need to be clothed. Otherwise, people will see you. Then to escape that, you have to clothe. Now you're clothed, but still people see you. It's an affliction. Nobody will allow you to stay the way you want to stay. As long as you have this body, people keep on staring at you, which you have to take it. And if you are a female, the stare is even more worse. Just look at it. It's an affliction. Abhadato. This rupa. Somebody or other will stare. You can't do anything without that staring. Sometimes you want your person to stare, and most of the time others will stare whether you want it or you don't want it. It's all about whether you want it or not. If you leave that wanting, it's horrible to say that you would get stares, even though they have the same exact body. That's affliction. Since you have this body, you have an affliction. Okay, so that affliction is this one, where you feel really uncomfortable. Then parato. Parato means some other. Hunger is not yours. Thirst is not yours. The hair to everything, skin, the skin will become dry. Is that yours? You can only address it just like that boil thing, right? So you take some moisturizer, apply it. Nothing you can do. And you have to do the same thing again and again because it's not yours. If it was yours, you didn't have to do it. Sparato, palokato, it keeps on breaking apart. Hairs falls. No matter how much care you take care of your hair, it falls. It becomes gray. And the body, you want to be in shape, it can never be in shape. You want this to become very, you can make this, stretch it, but again, skin, nothing can be done. You can put Botox or this and that means it's boil. Gandato. You keep on doing something to it just to keep it in shape. It will not be in shape. Just as an example, if somebody is pregnant and when she delivers, she becomes fat. And she has to do so many things to become lean. Okay, so nothing can be done. So palokato. Shunyato. Empty. There's nothing in here worth keeping. Okay, from phlegm to shit, do you want to keep it? You wouldn't. If you are a sensible person, you will not. So this body is equal to that. What you're eating from outside is not yours. What is going outside also is not yours. You're flushing it and again it going back and again it becomes some tree or some fruit or something, some vegetable, and you again eat it, again you flush it, and again just recycle process. Shunya, empty. Then anatta. That means no self. You can't call this body is my self. Clear on this rupa. Now, this way of seeing is the first step of the first jhana, which is savitakka savichara. Instead of vitakka vichara. Okay. How long can you do this? 20 hours. Now we did only on rupa. Now to do vedana. Okay. Without the rupa, can there be a vedana? No, you can't. So if there is an eye, there is going to be vedana. If there is a ear, there's going to be vedana. So like that. So now you have three vedanas. They are sukha vedana, dukkha vedana, dukkha sukha vedana. These are the three vedanas which are there, which means feeling. You feel something about it. Okay. Now what do you feel about this body? You feel good, you feel bad, you feel neutral. If you feel leaner and you didn't want it to be fat, you feel good. If you want it to be fat but you are lean, or the other way around, you feel bad. And if you're not totally concerned about it, if you're ignoring it, it becomes neutral, which is also these 11. It is aniccato, dukkhato, rogato, gandato, sallato, like that. I will explain why, and you have to do it exactly like this. If the rupa is not yours, how can the eyes and ears and nose and tongue can be yours? Because eyes are in where? In the body. Ears are where? In the body. Nose is where? In the body. Tongue is where? In the body. So how can you say it is mine? And it is anicca, meaning the baby's eyes and my eyes are not exactly the same. When I was a baby, I didn't have these glasses. So the feeling what I got when I was a baby, when I was seeing my mother, is not the same now. So the sight, what all have been seen, and the feeling, what has been got out of it, the hearing of my mother talking to me, tasting, I started with her milk, right? And now am I drinking the same milk? No. So the feeling I got by touching my mother and the feeling I'm getting now are exactly not the same at all. So can I rely on that feeling? So if the rupa is going through this 11, how can the vedana can be independent of it? It cannot be. I used to love my mother. So when I was born, I didn't have my younger brother. So he used to be there with me all the time, playing with me, right? Is she playing with me now? No. Was she playing with me 10 years ago? No. Was she playing with me 20 years ago? No. Was she playing with me 30 years ago? No. Was she playing 40 years ago? No. She was playing with me somewhere 45 years ago. So the feeling what I got of touching my mother was not the same after I became a teenager. And my mother used to say that don't touch inappropriately. But I was touching her when I was a child. Now, why does she say that don't touch inappropriately, because she's teaching me how to be with a female, because I'm a teenager. Then I became an adult, so there's no touching, right? Then when I got married, I can touch my wife, but I can't touch my mother in the same way as I touch my wife. So the feeling I get by touching my mother is different than the feeling what I get by touching my wife. So they both are not the same. Even though both are females, but the feeling is not the same. So it clearly shows that it is not permanent and it is not certain, right? So now I have to do the remaining thing. So it is anicca, dukkha, roga, ganda, sala, like that. Because even this feeling goes exactly the same format as the rupa. Now coming to the third one, perception, sanya. There again, if I see what I was perceiving as my mother is totally different than what I'm perceiving my wife. And now that I don't have a wife, that perception itself is not there. So I can't rely on the perception because there's no feeling of wife, because the rupa, what I'm seeing today, is not of my wife. Because the perception has changed, so the feeling has changed, and the feeling changes. There's a change in the rupa. So I no longer recognize this body as my wife. So there's no feeling of wife. And since there's no feeling of wife, there's no perception of wife. Got it? If there is a feeling of wife, then the perception of wife. Right? So can I change the perception? Yes. Can I change the feeling? Yes. That means the rupa is not reliable. Clear? So now I can see all the 11 in perception because it can be changed. Now, I had one mother. I have another mother called this lady who is taking care of me. So what happened to the wife? It's not there, meaning dead. Okay, I don't have a wife. It's a fact. Conventionally, yes, but really, no. Even she knows that she has no thing called as husband. So where did the husband go? Dead. Because anicca. Nicca means husband lives forever. But no. So now can I call this lady as my mother? Yes. But it is a perception which matters. Then the feeling of mother comes. If there's a perception of wife, then the feeling of wife. If there's a perception of mother, there's a feeling of mother. The perception of sister, there's a feeling of sister. The perception of brother, there's a feeling of brother. The kaya, the body, is neither mother, nor a brother, nor a daughter, nor a sister, nor anything. It's just a kaya. It's the perception which is making it see as a fixed object. Now I see the dukkha in that, because it changes based upon what is fed in the perception. So, as another example, Aryu, who is sitting here, I keep on telling him, you are like my son. So his perception is changed to believe that he is my son. So he starts feeling a father and a son relationship. So this Rupa, who is sitting there as Aryu, has got nothing to do with father or a son. It's because of the perception, the feeling is of a father and son. So what it makes? It makes a contact. And this contact becomes an emotional contact now. That means I start feeling for Aryu and Aryu starts feeling for me when we both need not have to feel anything for each other. Another example, me and Bobby. We felt, or when we were going to pick up Aryu and all of these guys, we were going to the airport, myself, Shaniel, and Bobby. We both felt that we've been childhood friends because the way our equation works are same. And it was seemingly as though we are in the same school, same college, and his wife, Merin, we also have almost the same kind of thing. So it would look like three college friends. It literally seems like that. I think if Bobby can open up his mic, he can speak, but that's how we felt. Now, the perception created the feeling, which is unreliable. You can't rely on that perception because it's just a perception. If I take that perception to be real, then it can change. It will change. Now, he can perceive me as a Dhamma friend, is another perception. He can perceive me as a teacher, is another perception. Bobby, if possible, you can add something to it. It'll be interesting how we felt it. If you can, otherwise, don't have to. If you're at work, I don't want to disturb you. So basically, yes, Bob.
I felt like that always when I'm with Vilashi. We were childhood friends from long time because the way we talk each other, I sometimes forget that he's my teacher, and we had a lot of things we talk only when we both are there. Otherwise, we are like when others are there, we will be very serious and something like that. But otherwise, and I felt, and even Vilashi was saying that we might be childhood friends from many lives. I felt like that. It's a perception.
Yes, it's a perception. It's a very good perception. Okay. So basically, yeah. So if I and Bobby were to take it to be real, then we have not understood the Dhamma. So when I come to the Jhāna, I need to remove Bobby because Bobby is an attachment. Just like Shaniel was an attachment some time ago. So when I called him up and said, let's finish the transactions, because that's a circular relationship. So when I start remembering Bobby, my jhana is moved out to sensual. So I might be saying vivicheva kamehi, but really it's not. So I have to burn that thing out. So I need to remove Bobby out of the equation. In this case, Bobby, I like Bobby. What about Bobby's friend by name Raju? He likes Goenkaji, which is good. But then when he and I meet, we don't have anything to speak because he thinks that I keep on talking against Goenkaji. So he feels that I'm blaming his teacher, and then there's nothing to speak. So this time, when we both met, we didn't have anything to speak. Literally, there was nothing. So what happened is that Raju spent good amount of time with Mrityunjay in asking him, does he go to retreat and this, that, and then after that he started talking to some other people to find out only about Goenkaji, whoever likes Goenkaji. So he got attached there. So it's a perception, right? So that the perception creates feeling, but it is You have to remove it. You have to remove everything because it cuts jhana. So the root meaning of jhana is to burn. So you have to burn it off looking at these grasping aggregates. So the moment I bring in Goenkaji, I get two. One, I like it or I dislike it. I can only take two. Or I can ignore. So if somebody is talking on Goenkaji, I can ignore that because I don't want to get associated with it, just like talking about Trump or talking about somebody else. And I say that, look, I stopped watching TV, but somebody talks to me about Trump. I feel like contributing, but I just ignore it. That's not upek. That's just ignoring it. That means I have not taken sides which way it should go, whether I should take this or I should take that. The real upekha is by going through this. It's the rupa itself is an anicca. So the vedana will also be anicca. The sanya also will be anicca. The sankhara also will be anicca. Sankhara in the sense what? When I met Raju, I want him to be in this way. Or when he met me, he would expect me to keep on flowering on SN Goenka. Then he would become very close. Very close means I think he will even come to Bangalore. Or I might go and stay with him. Okay, the only barrier today is that Goenkaji. If I were to say I am the best follower of Goenkaji, many people will be so happy because if they have this sankhara, which is niche now, it cannot become anicca. It's not only impermanent, it is uncertain. And any person can become somebody's follower as long as the condition matches. As soon as the condition is removed, the person loses the follower. That means if I consider this whole population of people sitting here is going to stay with me forever, it's foolishness. Because it's conditioned. I'm meeting your condition, or you're meeting my condition, and both of our conditions are making us seemingly stick together. But I know for sure it's not true. So, should there be an attachment with any one of you? And the answer is no. Then, should I have attachment towards myself? Also, the answer is no. So, first I did ajata to see, ajata means internal, to see that there's nothing like that. So, the external is also as same as this. So, just like bahya, na this, not that, not anything in between. Na idha, na hura, na udham, ubhayamantare, nothing in between either. So, if I practice this properly, the 5 khandhas, now I can see a person is 5 khandhas, that brings in sotapanna. Then I lose upadhana, so I'm 100% sotapanna. Then I practice the same thing. Next time it becomes sakadagami, then nanagami, arhat. Can this work when we, like I was talking about yesterday, SN Goenka, can we do that? Yes, it does. It works. With that condition, it works. It 100% works. But the objective, what we are trying to do is to do it all the time. All the time means all the waking hours, irrespective of whatever you're doing. So the thing is, whether the Burmese technique is good or not is not the question. Is can it sustain in all situations, all conditions, and totally unconditioned? So if it is unconditioned, it definitely should work. So you first start with a conditioned thing where you go to a small place like a retreat and do it, and you expand it towards your whole life. So it's not that Goenkaji technique is having flaw. No. In fact, you get the same thing, but it's limited. And you have to do something to make it sustained. So what we learned out of this Silavanta Sutta is that you can get into Sotapanna doing the same thing. You can get into Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arhat. All. So that is the foundation for Jhāna. Just like the foundation for Sila we did just now, earlier, now you are doing foundation for Samadhi, which includes Samatha, Jhana, Vipassana. These three becomes Samadhi. And that fruition is Panya, which we're going to do after some time. Okay, the last portion about Vijnana. If I take Bobby as my friend and a childhood friend, the friend becomes a childhood friend. That's Vijnana. So on the same Rupa, the Vedana now becomes childhood friend. The Sanya becomes childhood friend. The Sankharas become childhood friend. That means there's no distinction between me and Bobby. And if Merin joins in, it would look like we three are childhood friends. In fact, by his own admission, Bobby says that after his college friends, he's been funny with me, not with anybody else, which I know that. He would love to be like funny, but unfortunately, he can't be funny. The good news is that since I stayed with their family for 21 days, we had a real fun time with his wife and me and him. So it was not looking as though I've gone to his house to teach something. It was 21 days of fun. But we couldn't do that in Shaniel's home because Shaniel is a very serious person. So we used to find ways and means to talk, and he used to come and say that don't talk. And then we both used to talk. So we had really good fun. Why? Because the perception is exactly the same. That is, his perception, my perception are the same. So it looks as though that in the consciousness, in the Vijnana, it seems as though we both are either brothers or friends or something like that. And that's genuinely it feels. And that is Vijnana, which also you can't take it to be real. If something happens between us, some misunderstanding is sufficient to trigger a change in Vijnana itself. And that triggers the Rupa. So that triggers the Vedana, that triggers the Sanya, that triggers the Sankhara, that triggers the Vijnana itself. So it's a wave effect, just a wave, wave like that. So once I don't hold on to the waves, I see the waves are just waves, then there is no upadana, khanda, dukkha. And that's first time experience is when the six senses gets closed. Just like in Goenkaji technique, you get closed. Here also you get it closed. And when you get it closed, you experience Nibbana through Panya, not through Cheto Vimukti way. So for Cheto Vimukti, you should sit down and do something and then get into it. And whereas in Panya Vimukti, you don't have to do that. But you require both. To begin with, start with Chitta Vimukti and move to Panya Vimukti, because ultimately it is Panya. It's wisdom. It's not just sitting and doing it. Okay, so that's, we can call it as part one of Jhana. We will take the part two tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll complete it using Jhana Sutta. 4 absorptions. You're getting absorbed from looking at how your breath does not get distracted even with anything you're doing. Okay. It's avikhepa. Vikshepa means distraction. Avikhepa means non-distracted. There's nothing to get distracted. So tomorrow we'll see that. And then how it establishes, how you will know that you are in first jhana. What's the starting point of it? How do you stay in first jhana? And how do you know it is gone? How would you know it has ended? How would you watch that ending? Because it all goes through pada titi bhanga. So you would see that it is arising, just like a suryodaya or udayangama. So it arises, it stays for some time, then it dips and goes away. But there's an advantage here is that it doesn't go down, it will reverse back into second jhana. So after the end of the first jhana, it will take you to second jhana. So you don't have to look at the breath, it's automated, and hence piti takes over. Okay. And then it dips. Once it dips, you can see it goes to third jhana automatically. This is, you'll get sukha. And how do you know what is sukha? Is there an indicator? We'll see that if we can tomorrow. So we'll spend time tomorrow on first, second, third jhanas. We may or may not be able to go to the fourth jhana. Then on Monday, we can look at the fourth jhana and see how you can sustain the jhana. Establishing jhana is one thing, sustaining the jhana is another thing. So you need to sustain. It's just like plant. You might put water today and some sapling has come, but if you don't take care of it, it will die. In the same way, jhanas also have instant death. If something comes in between, it will cut the jhana. Like any sensual thing coming, it will cut the jhana. And then you are not supposed to struggle on breath. That's a key thing. To enter into jhana, jhana is something which is non-struggling, nothing to struggle. That's what we read on that Silavanta Sutta, the previous one. It should be seamless. It should be effortless. Zero effort. I'm again saying zero. If I say I'm sitting for 1 hour jhana, itself is wrong because you are in jhana, you can't get into jhana. There's nothing like I will enter into jhana. You are either in jhana or you're not in jhana. There's nothing like I will practice jhana. No, there is nothing called as practicing jhana also. Because it's all about burning. What do you mean by you practice burning? There's nothing to practice. You're just burning defilements. Okay, so I think that's it for today, unless you have any questions. Yes, Sham, go ahead.
So when you talked about not entering jhana, it's like I think you focus on the conditions and then
Yes.
jhana will happen.
Yes.
Okay.
All Buddha Dhamma is about bhavana. Bhavana is development. So you develop the right condition, removing the wrong conditions, and it starts working.
Mm.
Yes, Ritu.
Sir, you had spoken about Anguttara Nikaya Silavanta Sutta.
Yes.
What is the number?
AN 5.87.
Thank you.
Okay. So after our Sila, you have to become Silavanta. After becoming Silavanta in that AN 5.87, you should get into the understanding the 5 Upadana Khandas and then 4 modes of letting go as Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat. And that's it. That will be our framework till the end, which is Arhat. Anyone, any other question on relating to jhana? There's one section which I would love to talk about is on Bhikkhu Vagga. Okay. And in that Bhikkhu Vagga, there is something about jhana before vipassana. What it says is Jhaya Bhikkhu Ma Pamado Me Ma Te Kamagune Rame Suchittam Ma Lohagulam Gili Pamatto Ma Kandi Dukkha Midanti Daihamano. It's a very nice, it's a huge recitation in that this particular one is the most important about jhana. So what he says, Jhaya Bhikkhu Ma Pamado, burn, Bhikkhu Ma Pamado, don't have heedlessness, negligent. Ma te kamagune ramesh suchittam, do not let your mind delight in sensual pleasures. Ma lohagulam gili pamatto, it's like a red hot iron ball being eaten, not knowing it is red hot. Okay. Ma kandi dukkha midanti daihamano. Then don't cry, it is burning because you already eaten it. So kama guna is something which is burning. And the next verse is even more delicate than this. Natti jhanam apanyasya panya natti ajhayato yamhi jhanancha panya cha save nibbana santike. Natti jhanam apanyasya. If a person has no panya developed, it is not jhana. He is making distinction between anariya and ariya, so which we will take it up tomorrow. Okay. There's a lot of confusion on anariya jhana, ariya jhana. You should do jhana, you should do jhana. So many different variants are there. And it's very confusing. Should you, shouldn't you, should you, shouldn't you? Okay, so he says, Natti jhanam apanyasya panya natti ajhayato yamhi jhanancha panya cha save nibbana santike. So he says, Panya natti ajhayato. If somebody is not in jhana, there is no panya. Natti. No wisdom will develop without jhana. Yamhi jhanancha panyacha. In whom there is both jhana and wisdom. That is panya in jhana. Save nibbana santike. Only he gets nibbana. Okay. Now the final thing which we are going to do in Shunyagara. Because now this concept of Shunyagara is also funny, that it's empty place, but in Buddha Dhamma there's nothing called as empty space as per this Dhammapada verse. Shunyagaram pavattis santi santachittasya bhikkhuno amanusi rati hoti samma dhammam vipassato. For a monk, Shunyagaram pavatittasya. A monk who has entered Shunyagara without raga, dvesha, moha is Shunya. Where it is written? It is in Mahavedala Sutta and Chula Vedala Sutta, which explains what is Shunyagara. It's not an empty dwelling. It's you dwell without raga, dvesha, moha. Santa chittasya. The chitta will become santa only when raga, dvesha, moha is not there. Amanusi rati, there arises a non-human delight. Amanusi. Manusa is person who would love to have ramani, some entertainment. That itself is not there. Rati. Rati is enjoyment. As Samma Dhammam Vipassito. Samma, proper. Dhamma, teaching. Vipassito, one who is in Vipassana. Okay. And in the end, which is what is recited in Goenkaji's technique, Yato Yato Sammasati Khandanam Udayabhyayam Labati Piti Pamojam Amatam Tam Vijanantam. This verse has been taken from Bhikkhu Vagga in Dhammapada. It has various sections which were important, and since Goenkaji only recites this much, people feel, and many people don't even know the meaning of it. They only take this much. No. It should have started from basically Panchabhigguvattu. Chakkuna samvaro sadhu, sadhu sotena samvaro, ghanena samvaro sadhu, sadhu jivhaya samvaro. It starts with that. And only when all of this happens, yato yato sammasati khandanam udayabhyayam labati piti pamojam amatam tam vijanantam. So that's the end of Jhāna. This one. Yato yato sammasati ends Jhāna. Got the point? So tomorrow when we meet, we are going to go through all of this, including I'll try to finish off this Bhikkhu Vagga because it's so important to entering into Jhāna and exit into Jhāna, and gives clarity on what is Jhāna itself. And then we are going to touch base on or go deeper into what is Anariya Jhāna and what is Ariya Jhāna. What is Re in Anariya? Anariya. Ariya. What is that Re in both of them? Clear? Okay. Any other question? Yes, Sanil, I think you asked a question. I didn't respond.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sir, can you just provide the reference for Bhikkhu Vagga? You mentioned.
Okay, don't worry. I will.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I will do one thing. I will share.
Yeah.
If you go to, maybe I'll do one thing. I will put it in the global group,
Okay,
the link
sir.
itself,
Okay.
so you can click on that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Chansin, go ahead.
No, Vinodji, question ये 5 skandhas पर है जो consciousness बोलते हैं सर जो आई कॉन्शियसनेस आई से देखा था आई कॉन्शियसनेस और फाइनली जो कॉन्शियसनेस जो मेंटल चॉइस के बाद कॉन्शियसनेस बनता है अल्टीमेटली सो कैन आई कंसीडर द इनिशियल eye consciousness or something you can call it, it's just a seed of the consciousness which becomes fully when it goes through all this feeling, perception and the mental choice and finally become consciousness.
Let me give you an example. With an example, it becomes easy. Vilas is a consciousness. Vilas eye is another consciousness. Vilas ear is another consciousness. Vilas nose is another consciousness. Vilas tongue is another consciousness. Vilas body is another consciousness. Clear? There's 6 consciousness. There's only one, not one consciousness. Now, what Vilas eye can do, Vilas ear can't do. Agree with me? Yeah. Otherwise, Vilas eye should be able to do what Vilas ear can do. And Vilas ear, what it can do, the Vilas nose could have been done, and Vilas tongue could have done what Vilas nose could do, and what eyes, ear, nose, tongue could do, the body could have done. Is it possible? No. If there is a sight, only Vilas eye will run towards the sight, right? Are the ears going behind the sight? No. Is a nose going behind the sight? No. If there is a smell, the eyes will not go behind the smell, right? Only the nose will go behind the smell. The ear will go behind the sound. But there is an aggregator who will add up things up, and that is called mind. Manas, mano. That's the reason Buddha says mano pubbangama dhamma. To have a concept, you require somebody to forerunner. It runs with the remaining 5 people coming along with it. And the first person is eye consciousness. Second person is ear consciousness. Third person is tongue consciousness. Fourth person is nose consciousness. Fifth person is body consciousness. So these 5 consciousness is pulled by mind. So to do the Indriya Samvara, you should know, you means the mind should know out of these 5, one will be weak. Now, if you become an observer, when I say witness, this mind is going like this and it's not seeing, oh, these 5 are doing whatever they are doing. So in the Chappana Upama Sutta, that means 6 animals, and also in the Dutiya Baddha Gaddula Sutta, Patama Baddha Gaddula Sutta, these are the suttas you need to understand about the 6 consciousness. Buddha gives an example that if you have a pole and you only tie one animal and leave the other animals will run away wherever they want, right? You only tied one animal. So if you only tie the mind without tying the other 5 of them, they will go wherever they want. Okay. Now, what I should do is, I means the mind should do is, instead of going like this, it should start turning on the other side to see what these 5 people are doing. When it turns, it becomes witness. That's why it's called witness consciousness. Now it becomes witness to these 5 senses. So when you say Sakshi Bhava, people don't understand what this term, even Goenkaji says, Drashta Bhav, Sakshi Bhav, like that, and nobody understands what it really means. It means you turn back. You turn your attention with Yonisa Manasikara. Yonisa Manasikara means how this eye is running behind. It's running behind a sight. It only knows to run behind sight. If you don't give it sight, it cannot run. It stops there. So basically, I will cut off Vilas from the eyes. Because Vilas eyes, it's still an eye. It's just a sight. Sight is just a sight. I'm not interested. As long as it's Vilas eye, it will run. Because Vilas eye will see Vilas wife. So you understand the point now. If there were no Vilas, the eye cannot see Vilas wife. It only sees some object, and that's it. There ends the matter. It's a management is done by the mind, which is mano pubbangama dhamma, mano setta manomaya. So now to do what to do with that eyes, that sight is decided by the mano. So if it can remove Vilas from that equation, then what happens? The object is seen, but no wife can be found in the eye consciousness. So that animal got tired and stayed there. Now comes the second animal, which is hearing. If Vilas is not there, can he hear Vilas' wife's sound? No. If Vilas is not there, can the tongue taste Vilas' food? No. The 3 guys are dead. Only 2 more remaining, body and nose. And nose is, if my nose is not the most profound thing, strongest thing, just do like this, it falls down. So Buddha gives in that 5 animal simile, there's one animal which is very weak one actually. If people will see it, they will come to see, this one I can break it. If you break it, that breaks the sight, that breaks the sound, that breaks the taste. that breaks the smell. What is remaining is only body. And because these four guys are totally tired, the fifth one, without asking anyone, it comes and sits. So now the mind can tie all the five of them to the same pole. Now they don't run behind their grazing field. And that's the reason it's called grazing field. In Pāli is gochara. Achara, gochara, sampanno is what Buddha says. Achara means doing. Acharana. That means what you are doing. Gochara means it will go towards the field. It knows to go and eat. Pull them back, come here, come. Just like a cow shepherd would say, hey, come here. Why are you grazing there? Come here. So when the eyes goes to graze, this mind will go and say, no, not that object. Come here. And that is development. Bhavana. Indriya bhavana. So you first cut out all of these five senses. So mano pubbangama dhamma mano setta manomaya manasa chepaduttena bhasati va karoti va. Meaning this person is doing wrong thing. Paduttena. Meaning he is getting irritated. Bhasati va karoti va. Whenever he is speaking and whenever he is doing. And what happens? He says chakka. Chakka means just like a wheel turning, it follows wherever it goes. Whereas pasannena, once he is prasanna means very delighted. He has got all the five animals and they are not going anywhere without his permission. Then chaya means just like a shadow. The happiness follows just like a shadow. So the first step is to do Indriya Samvara. We are now coming into Jhāna. So to understand Vijnana, you should have first cut off these five animals. And then you can understand what is Vijnana. It's a good question. I appreciate it. At least you had courage of asking. Everybody sitting and as they've understood. At least you said that I didn't understand. I appreciate you. I'm 100% certain many people who are sitting here have not even understood what I'm saying. They're just nodding and saying, yeah, understood. But it is not.
Sure, thank you.
In fact, there's one sutta, if anyone is interested, it is Buddha Mamsa Sutta, which made me enlightened completely. Meaning I came to know, I've reached the third stage, Anagami, through this sutta. Is that Buddha Mamsa Sutta has Kabalinka Ahara, Phassa Ahara, Mano Sanchetana Ahara, Vijnana Ahara, four food. And in the three of them, apart from the Rupa, Kabalinka Ahara, he says you will become an Anagami. Okay? For the remaining thing, Phassa Ahara, Mano Sanchetana Ahara, and the Vijnana Ahara, he says you become an Arhat. You don't have to do anything. If you understand these three, you become an Arhat. Why? Because you know the feeding ground. The Vijnana feeds, you cut it. That's it. No feeding, no coming back to existence. So what is feeding? There should be vilas. Vilas is what is feeding. You cut vilas. See, vilas friend is Bobby. Right? There's no vilas. Can be Bobby be there independent of vilas? And the answer is no. As long as I have a perception of vilas, there's a perception of Bobby. And as long as I have a perception of SN Goenkaji, I have a liking and disliking or neutral for Goenkaji. If I have extensively got everything, whatever Goenkaji says, I will flower him with so much of flowers. If I have not experienced whatever he says, I keep on blaming him for every nonsense things. And if I have not even understood anything about that Vipassana center, I have no comments to say, so I will not say anything. But basically it doesn't mean anything to me because I have not really got anything at all. My job should be to cut the ajjata internal. That means I have to cut vilas. So vilas going to retreat is not there. So the six senses are completely in control. Got it?
Agree. As you're saying, Goenkaji, I think multiple times, right? And people has different their feelings. That means you may not have that feeling, but people have this feeling and that attachment, and you're
Yes.
not there somewhere.
Correct.
Yeah.
So people can have attachment towards me, and people can have a positive attachment towards me. People can have a negative attachment towards me. People can have a neutral feeling towards me, right? But the three are attachments. If people appreciate me, since I am attached to vilas, right? So the Vijnana will show that I should enjoy that. Right. So when Bobby says he like a childhood friend and all that, I feel so attached. I feel so connected to Bobby. After a few months or years, or Bobby will say, Vilas ji, you are one of the idiot I've ever found on this planet. And then the real pain starts. Because I never thought that Bobby is going to call me an idiot. So now that I'm an idiot, now he makes it feel more saddened because Bobby called me an idiot. So there is a problem now. The problem is that this perception that Bobby is my friend created a vijnana, a consciousness that Bobby indeed is my friend. Right? So then there's an attachment. If Vilas himself is not there, where is Bobby there? If Vilas is not there, where is Goenka? Because Vilas is going to the retreat, right? And then only things comes whether to like or dislike or not to like or dislike. So if I don't have six senses attachment, then that's it. That's end of suffering. That's Vijnana. Good question. Appreciate it. Yes, Sham, go ahead.
I know it's late, so just a tiny question. So I didn't read much suttas, but when you mentioned Pattamanasa Sutta, there is two
Uttamamsa
versions.
Sutta.
Yeah. So there's two versions, one by Tanisaru Bhikkhu and
Read the sutta which is in Pāli. And English translation, you do it little, or you go to Chat GPT, copy paste that entire sutta, it will give you a better word to word meaning and you'll understand it.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you can come on video, I can show you how it can be done, since I can't see you. If it is possible.
Let me check. I just work.
Okay. Then don't take trouble. It's fine. Go to suttacentral.net and search for Puttamamsa Sutta. Then you will get the sutta, and then you go and find out. I'll just show everyone how it can be done so that you know.
Okay. I use Gemini a lot, but yeah, I can use it.
You can use Gemini also. It's not an issue. It doesn't matter what you use, but you can. So what you do is, for everyone's sake, I'm showing. So this is the sutta in Sayyukta Nikaya 12.43. What you do is, you go here, go to parallel here, okay? Then don't go to English and Bodhi and all that, and just go here. It will give you the whole thing in Pali, okay? Then whether you are going to use Chat GPT or Gemini or whatever it is, just give like this and copy and paste it to your Chat GPT. So let's say what I can do is that I can let's say I come here, I paste this guy, and I say, I just do this. Oh, I'll do it here only. Okay. Translate and explain each paragraph without skipping any Pāli text and retain. Okay, and then I press this and then you'll see. Fine.
Yeah, got it. But they would not have context on the Dhamma. Okay, yeah, it's true.
And from here, you need to make sense of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't promise that just by you are looking at it, you are going to understand it.
Mm.
Now you have to contemplate on that. You have to take that one paragraph of Puttamamsa. What is Puttamamsa? That means when I see this body, it is like a flesh, right? It is a flesh.
Mm.
Mosquitoes love this body, right? Because it is food. So I have to contemplate like that. It's not about killing the mosquito. It is about knowing that it is food.
Mm. Got it.
So it is searching for food. Just like I'm searching for food, it's also searching for food. Now you use this just to cross the river of samsara. So don't get attached to this body. You just use it to cross the river of samsara. And then you're done what you're supposed to do. Natti karaniya. He says nothing more to do, you would become an anagami because you are not attached to this.
Got it. Thanks. I'll try translating it. I think I never tried it before, but it looks fun.
Yeah, it's fun. You do whatever you want, whether in Gemini or this or whatever.
Yeah.
Or even DeepSeek will do the same thing for you.
Mm. Sure.
Okay. I think we crossed the time also.
Just
Yes, Sunil.
This terms like Jhāna and Bhagava, yeah, whether they are like how they are different, or I think time is over. We can, if possible,
Tomorrow.
you can. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
What did you ask the question? You can put it in the chat itself in the
Bhagava. This okay, sir. Okay.
Bhagava is different than Jhāna.
Okay, sir. Okay.
They are not the same.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
And Jhāna is to burn. Bhagava is not to burn. Bhagava has got nothing to do with burning.
Okay.
Sunil,
Okay, sir.
people will kill you if you go outside and say Bhagava means to burn.
No, sir. Just want to know that. Okay.
No.
Okay.
They're not the same.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Okay. Yes.
Done? Should we end for today and meet tomorrow?